What's going on, everyone? You are watching Path of Ash. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing the pros and the cons of heat trained hair. You know, all the positives and all the negatives. And this is going to be coming from my personal opinion of what I find has been, you know, some good differences in my hair and what has been some challenges. So we're going to get right into it. And I don't know about y'all, but when someone says, like, I have good news and I have bad news, which one do you want first? I always say I want the bad news first so that the good news can kind of outweigh the bad news once I get it. So we're gonna start with the cons. So for me personally, con number one about having heat trained hair is obviously the heat damage. And what I mean by that is that coming from someone who has been natural for 10 plus years and they just decided on a whim that they wanted to become a straight hair natural or have heat trained hair, it was hard for me to let go of my curls or to risk my curls to damage. So a con when you're, you know, just looking to starting heat trained hair, if you come in with the mindset like, I don't care what happens to my curls, I just want a looser curl pattern, then, you know, kudos to you. You could just go ahead and just do it all and not care. But as someone in the beginning that cared about my curls, I was like struck when I really started to notice the damage over time. I was like, oh my goodness, what did I just get myself into? Because my hair is looking fried. Then I slowly got to the point where I was like, you know what, I don't care. I knew this was gonna happen and this is gonna have to be what it is. And I just committed to it fully, and now I'm at the point where I don't care about it. But there are some days where I look at like old videos of me on my wash days and I'm like, oh my goodness, curls was at its like maximum health, and then now when you look at my hair, everything looks fried and it's like, ooh. But we, you know, that's what we wanted and that's what I wanted. So you have to come in with a mindset, if this is something that you're just looking to do, go in and know that you're risking your curls. And if you really don't want to do that, I wouldn't say heat train is for you, but you could do what I did in the beginning, which is be a blow dried natural, because that's less like heat, that's indirect heat. Now your hair could still get damaged with the blow dryer, and I'm not doing this to scare anybody, I just got to make that disclaimer. But it's more going to be a slower, gradual process. And then once you notice, ooh, it's looking kind of looser right here, then you can, you know, be the judge of that and stop whenever you want to. But that's just about heat training in general. You can stop whenever you want to. But that has to be con number one for me, because I went in knowing that my curls were going to be damaged, but then when they actually did got damaged, I was kind of hurt. But now I'm good. All right, so now that we are on the topic of curl patterns, I'm going to get into con number two, and that's dealing with two different textures of hair. Now, me personally, with being natural, I've always had multiple hair textures. I feel like I had all of the type 4 hair textures all around my head. So I always was dealing with different curl patterns. But now with being heat trained, I'm dealing with a curl pattern and straight pieces of hair. So that's a lot. So to further explain that, when you heat train, you loosen your curl pattern, you achieve what you want to do. Good. But as that new growth come in, that new growth is new. It's literally new, and it's not heat trained like the rest of your hair. So if you've been like relaxed before, because I was relaxed before, you know, like when that new growth come in, it starts to get harder to deal with your hair. So it's kind of like that with heat training, because like you have, like I said, the looser part of your hair that you achieved, and that's, you know, kind of easy. It's less defiant as it was to heat before, and you kind of got it how you want it to. When that new growth come in, it's new, so it's not heat trained, so you have to train that part of your hair. So you have to focus really on those roots all the time, every time you're doing your hair. Now, this was a challenge for me when I was doing my own hair, because A, I'm not a professional. B, I didn't really use a lot of heat when I was natural for all those years, so this was kind of new for me. I could never get my roots to lay when I wanted to flat iron my own hair, and it was just all puffy here and straight strangly strands there. Terrible, hot mess. So if, like I said, if you're looking to heat train, just know that once you do achieve being heat trained, you still have to kind of, you know, work overtime on those roots, so that your roots can get trained as well. It's always going to be a process. Now, it will get easier over time once you learn how to keep managing it. Like I keep saying, every practice makes perfect for everything. But I just labeled this as a con because even though I go to the salon, I still have to maintain my hair in between visits. So I eliminated, you know, having to straighten my own hair and going through it not coming out right because I did it myself. But I still have to wash my hair. I still have to detangle with those two different textures. And speaking on that, when you have those two different textures like that, when you have straight hair and you have like your curl pattern of new growth, you have to be extra careful and extra gentle when detangling because you can cause unnecessary breakage because this part is actually more weaker. Your ends are always going to be weaker than that new hair. And when you go and detangle, and if you're not detangling from end to root and you're trying to, you know, do the regular thing like you do when you have your hair straight and you could just comb it all through, you're gonna be pulling and breaking and snapping and popping. It's a lot. So I would say that's con number 2 because dealing with different textures is hard in general, but dealing with coarse and straight, that's a whole different ball game. Right, so con number 3 is kind of like a beginner heat training status con because I don't really like go through this anymore. But con number 3 in the beginning for me would have to be like the weather. And what I mean by that, and I'm pretty sure y'all know what I mean by that if y'all ever got a silk press, is like when it's humid outside, your hair is reverting. When it's raining outside, your hair is reverting. Even if it's cold and they got that little breeze, but that breeze has like some moisture in it, your hair is reverting. So instead of saying weather, let's just say like the reversion or being scared that your hair gonna revert. Now, since my hair is fried, guys, I don't have this problem anymore because like I do still have texture in my hair. Don't get me wrong. My hair is not bone straight. My hair does still have a little bit of wave, but it's not like that type 4 texture anymore. It's like real loose. I don't even know how to type it, but yeah, it's really loose. So I don't really have that issue anymore with it being like super easy to revert. Now my hair does revert like if I submerge it in water, but it's not easy if like rain was to fall on it or if it was hot outside and I sweated a little bit. It's not as easy as it was before. But in the beginning, anything, I mean anything that has some type of moisture, wetness, water, whatever, my hair was going right back to my fro. So that is a little bit like when you're trying so hard to be heat training, it could be like the breaking point where it's like, you know, I'm just gonna give up on this completely because nothing's working, my hair keeps reverting, so what's the point? And I get that. So that's why I labeled this as a con. So what I did to help with like the reversion and all of that, I started getting into like looking up different products to use because I had to switch over my products because I can't use the curly hair products if I want my hair to be straight. So I started looking at like humidity serums or anti-frizz sprays or like really more so like expensive shampoos, conditioners, heat protectants, or anything that had like silk in it, like silk, bio silk or she, all of those type of like professional products I had to kind of use and do that on myself. But now I go to the salon, so I don't got to worry about that anymore. But with the maintenance of my hair, I still do use, you know, things that have silkening or anti-frizz, humidity, products that are on along those lines. Like the reversion, always be on guard that your hair is going to revert is a big con because it's miserable, especially when you paid all that money or you spent all that time doing your hair and it just go back to like you didn't do anything. Or when the silk press that you do yourself just look like a blow dry. Baby, that was me all the time on this app. If y'all ain't seen all my failed silk press videos, y'all ain't really watching my content because that was my life right there. All right, so this is the last con, but con number 4 for me will be the like weakness in my hair, if that makes sense. So this is kind of like number 1 with the heat damage and having to really face the reality that my hair is different now and I need to like do different things because my hair is different. The weakness of my hair, okay, so to better explain that, like I said, the damage would damage your hair is weaker because you literally change the like bonds in your hair. You broken down the bonds in your hair because it's not what your hair really is, and you use the heat, so it's weaker. So with that, you have to have more extra care with it. So I really have to be more diligent about protein treatments, deep conditioning, and things like that. Like extra care to my hair because my hair is already like weak. So I have to rebuild it with, strengthening products. So I just labeled this as a con because, like I said, this was like a shock with, having my hair being in its type 4 state. I never really had to worry about my hair being weak because my hair was always strong. Now, I did have to worry about breakage and dryness because my hair was severely dry, and it still is. But with being heat trained now, I have to worry about making sure my hair is strong because I'm using heat a lot. I don't want my hair to completely break and fry off. And with that, like another like face the reality type of thing for me, with my hair being type 4, it was always thick and like voluminous and always up and just, and then now that I'm heat trained, which I straighten my hair a lot, it's like flat and laid, and I wanted that, but then like I miss that thickness sometimes, and my hair is like still got some type of thickness and texture, but it's just not as much as it was before. So that's what I mean by like the weakness in my hair. My hair has been changed, the bonds has been broken. I have to do extra to keep it strengthened, and my hair is just not voluminous as it was before because we've been frying it. I'm gonna stop saying fry because fry sound unhealthy, and I don't want y'all to think like, I mean, because heat trained hair can get unhealthy, but I've been doing extra care than I was before because it was real unhealthy in the beginning, but after I got that trim, I got it right. So I'm gonna stop saying fried, but it's just, flat. Now, I have been caught in this video reminiscing about like my natural hair, but I love it over here. I love it over on the heat train side because it does save me time, and I've been retaining length, and just a lot of healthy changes has happened. So with that being said, we're gonna go into the positives on the pro side. So let's get started. All right, so pro number 1 for me would have to be the time that I save with having heat trained hair. And what I mean by that I could just wrap my hair, go to bed, wake up, unwrap it, and start my day. Rather than like before, I would have to go through a whole like undoing a braid out, which I still do braid outs. Don't get me wrong, I still do that in between like my salon visits, but that was like an everyday reality for me, was like taking out a braid out or waking up with my hair being flat or the twist not being dry. The horrors, guys, the horrors. And me having to like be like, I just put it in the puff because this ain't working for me. So I don't have that stress in the morning or stress when I have to go somewhere anymore. Like, what am I gonna do with my hair? Because all I gotta do is unwrap and go. And also, I'm saving a lot of time on wash day because my wash days go by a lot easier. Now, I did say a con was dealing with the 2 different textures, but even with that, my hair, like, I can still easily wash my hair, detangle my hair, blow dry, and do whatever. Or, like, it just shaves, like, an hour off my wash day being heat trained, because before I had to really get through each section. I couldn't really reach my scalp enough to, like, cleanse my hair, and my hair be dirty. Like, I would have to like repeated wash. Now I know that I'm getting my scalp clean. I can actually feel everything going through my hair, so it's not such a bunch of time or a bunch of hours that I have to dedicate a whole day off to wash my hair. I can literally wash my hair for like an hour or maybe an hour and a half, depending on like deep conditioning time. I'm adding that in there, and hot oil treatment, and then I can like go somewhere after that because my hair, I done blow dried my hair, and my hair laying somewhat, and I can just go. All right, so pro number 2, I didn't want to make this number 1 because it's not always the case, and there has definitely been some setbacks for me personally, but pro number 2 is length retention. I find that I have been retaining a lot more length with my hair being like pressed out more and more like straight, because now I can visibly see when my ends is looking nasty, and I can just go ahead and take care of that. or like the detangling is not so rough like every day, I can easily like just comb through my hair or wrap my hair, moisturize and seal my hair, and kind of like see like, okay, this looking unhealthy, or I'm in need of a protein treatment, or you know, things like that. Versus when my hair was in this curly state, it just looked the same all the time, and my hair was like always dry. So I would moisturize it and seal it, but I wasn't really like looking at if I needed a trim because my hair was so like shrunk. Everything kind of blended. I never knew when I needed a trim unless I blow dry my hair, and then when I blew dry my hair, it was like, oh my goodness, when you have them see-through ends. And then by that point, I have to chop 2-3 inches off, versus now me being able to see like, okay, I need a trim and it's only like an inch or a half an inch at a time. So I'm not crediting the heat training to the length retention, because you can definitely grow some inches with your natural hair. But for me, I can visibly see the health of my hair with it being pressed out, versus, you know, just having my hair curly every day and not really knowing what's going on, because everything is kind of blending in with everything. Also, to just add to this pro is like the length retention with like the less breakage, because I can comb through my hair, I can like wrap my hair or like brush it, and there's not a lot of tugging, pulling, and like rough force. Because when I was natural or were wearing my hair in this curly state, I was really gentle with detangling, but then there was like the knots, the fairy knots, or when the curls just wrap around each other with having all the different curl patterns, it was kind of hard not to like pull something. So the less knots and tangles is also, you know, getting into length retention or helping me retain length. Pro number 3 and final pro of this video for having heat trained hair is being able to like go back and forth with my styles. And what I mean by that is that I could wear my hair straight majority of the time, but I could still go back and achieve my curly hairstyles with the braid outs, twist outs, flexi rossettes, and just give my hair a break from that heat. So the versatility of it all is really convenient for me, because me being natural for so long, all I know is like curly styles. All I know is how to just rock braid outs, twist outs, and all that. So with my hair being heat trained, I can, you know, get that straight look that I want, but when I want to give my hair that break, I could go all the way back to my curly styles and just switch it up, switch it up. So it's all like the versatility of it all is what I will count as a pro, because like it's not like my hair bonds are broken and it's not like the same, so I'm probably not gonna get the same results as I did when I wore my hair in this curly state without altering it, but it's still possible. All right guys, so this is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope I helped in any possible way to people who are looking to heat train or just want some more like research, or you're already beginning the process and you just need some motivation to continue, or you just want to just, you know, look around in general. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I hope y'all all enjoyed, and I will see y'all all in another video. Bye.